Have you ever rented a giant warehouse to build your ultimate bike park and then quickly realized that you might not actually have the skills to make the bike park? I have no idea what to do with this. If only there was a way I could just snap my fingers and have one of my construction homies come to help me out. Oh, what's up, Evan?
Hey, Aaron.
This is my good friend Evan. He has a career in construction, and it's pretty clear to me that he's got all the skills and equipment required to help me make this spot happen. When I first told everyone about the warehouse, a lot of friends raised their hands to come in and help out, and I think they knew just how in over my head I actually was. There's this line in my favorite book, The Alchemist, that goes, "When there's something you really want, the universe conspires to help you achieve it." And I think that's exactly what's happening here with this space. Now that I've enlisted professional help, it's time to talk about what we're gonna build today. We're gonna build essentially the world's largest rideable Twinkie. It's about 2.5 feet wide, about 2 feet tall, and about 6 to 8 feet long. It's something that's a good foundational element for riding and perfect to start the space out. We're gonna put it together today, we're gonna get it built all up, we'll test it out, and then I'll do a little tutorial on how to ride this thing. So the entire box is gonna be shaped by these 2x6s here, and then we're gonna use these 2x2s down here to kind of make the ribs to kind of fill it in a little bit, make it a little bit more rigid. The top will be a 3/4 inch ply, and the sides will be this 1/2 inch ply right here, just to have a nice facade to it. So the giant Twinkie has made shape, at least in our heads. Now we gotta cut it up and make it happen. Calling Evan was definitely the right call. Not only are we going like 1,000 times faster than I thought we were gonna go, but I'm learning a ton in the process. Just getting this first one done right and everything proper is gonna give me so much more as we continue to build and figure things out. You can see my first cut. Not that great. Okay, first cut.
Take two. The trigger on the top, push down.
I thought all right.
So that's the line that Aaron was supposed to cut, and you can see where Aaron ended up cutting.
I thought it was this line right here.
Luckily you didn't cut on the other side of the line, because we can just redo it.
This is exactly why I have you here. I thought it was this line. Is it not? It's this line?
It's the one that says 0.
Right. Awesome. What is it? Cut twice, measure. Forget it. We made it. We got the entire inside completely built. All the stuff to do now is put the plywood on the outside and we're done with this thing. Definitely slightly overbuilt, but that's exactly what we need for something that's gonna get ridden as much as this is. Definitely heavy, which is great because I don't want this thing sliding around a bunch. Now we just cover it up and we're good to go. So we got this plywood top ready to go. We just gotta chop about 1 foot off this side. I think now definitely looking at it at this height and just having it all fabricated like this, it was the right call to do a 3 foot wide box. 2 foot, I feel like, especially at this height, it may have been real tippy one way or another, and especially if you had your weight on one side or another. But at 3 feet, I think it's just right. 4 feet, looking at it this big, I think it would have been too much, especially for this space. So 3 foot was the sweet spot, to say the least. Okay, we got the top on. I'm gonna give this a little bit of a test. It's looking great so far. Truthfully, I don't think I could have done this without Evan. Like, I thought he was gonna be a really great help and everything, but now that I've seen what he's had to do to make this happen, there's no way I would have done this, especially as fast as he did, but maybe at all. So I'm extremely grateful. The inaugural ride has been done. We've tested it out. This thing feels pretty good. It's actually a little bit higher than I thought I originally wanted it, but that's good. It's challenging myself to be able to ride this thing and get better at riding bikes, which is what we're all here for. So Evan's adding a couple extra screws just to kind of tamp down the noise that it makes when I hit on the top, but everything else is perfect. One of my main concerns when we were building this box was that it was going to be sliding around all over the warehouse floor, but thankfully, that's definitely not going to be happening. I thought maybe I'd have to put some kind of like rubber matting down or something, but this thing ain't moving. Construction on Big Twinkie is complete, but the most important part, getting it the right color, is about to happen. I'm here at the hardware store, and I gotta remember what color Twinkies are. Like, it's not as easy as just the brightest possible yellow. I feel like it's got kind of like an orange, kind of burnt yellow vibe to it. So I'm gonna do a little work to try to find the exact right color so I nail this. This theme of the universe conspiring to help you out is such a cool thing that just continued as this first box came together. My family jumped in to help me paint this thing, get it all primed up and ready to go, and my friend Aaron showed up to shoot the thumbnail for this video as well. There's really no better feeling in the world than when you throw something out into the universe and everybody responds and helps you out. It's so cool. Painted wood, maybe not the best thing for traction. So when I was at the hardware store, I got this anti-skid adhesive. It seems like it's like a sand that you add into the paint itself, but I want this to basically feel like grip tape, so I'm not gonna bother pouring it into the paint and painting it on. I'm just gonna sprinkle it over the top and hope for the best. This actually worked. It's like a skate neck. Well, the paint has dried on this thing, and while I had originally intended for it to look like a Twinkie, it came out looking more like a stick of butter. I can't think of anything that rhymes with butter or is real clever, but margarine is close enough, so I've decided to name the first feature in the shred spot, Large Marge. Now that Large Marge is complete, this is gonna be my first session on my first feature in the warehouse. I'm just gonna let the cameras run and see what happens. As promised, a quick tutorial to ride up onto this box. We're going to talk about the 3-pedal method. And essentially when you're riding, you have a forward foot and a back foot. So when you're standing level on the pedals, you have a strong foot, which is typically you're leading with, and your other foot is on the back. With a 3-pedal technique, you actually start with your weak foot up on the top of your pedal stroke. As you're approaching the feature, you want to have this line in your head of where you're going to initiate the motion. And for me, what that is, it's double the height of the box. So if this is 2 feet tall, I start my motion 4 feet out. And that's when I start the pedal stroke. So I have my back foot at the top of the pedal stroke, and I begin to push down as I lift the front wheel up. And as my strong foot comes back around to the top of the pedal stroke, that's when I really push down on the pedal and I put my hips into the bar. And that motion of those 2 things happening at once unweights the back tire and gives you one last big push to get you up and over. Once that motion has been initiated, I push forward with my handlebars as far as I can, and that brings the back wheel up onto the box. 2 important places to not touch your brakes while you're doing this process. Don't touch your brakes when you first touch your front wheel to the box. That will stop all of your momentum. Don't touch your brakes as soon as your rear tire hits the box, because a lot of times you can fall off the back of the box that way if it grabs the face instead of on top. Now, if you do want to use your front brakes, you can do it just slightly after your front wheel crosses over this front ledge here, but that's only if you're really struggling to get that back wheel lifted up. A lot of people will just kind of feather it just a little bit to give it a little boop, but honestly, you can do it without. I just wouldn't rely on your front brake to get this technique in the bag. I think it's better to learn it without and then use it sparingly if you absolutely need it, if you're having a hard time getting that back wheel to move up quickly. So I'll give you a couple slow motion versions of it so you can kind of see the process from a few different angles. But that's how you do the 3-pedal technique to get 2 tires up onto a box this big. If you want to get just a little bit deeper into the up and over, there's a full tutorial video that I have that just dissects every element of it. And I also made a secondary video that's how to jump up to back wheel on objects of this size as well. I'll link to both of those. Thank you again for joining me on this journey. And if you want to continue the journey with me, now would be a great time to smash that subscribe button. Next week's video is going to be an interesting one. I really hope Evan's still down to help me make stuff because this one's going to be slightly more complex. In any case, thank you for joining me. Thanks for coming to the Shred Spot. We'll see you next week. Today I learned an important distinction between drill. Today I learned an important distinction between drill and driver. This is for IKEA. This is for building real things.